you're all good, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you're all good. And welcome back to episode 10. So I hope you're all settled, because this is the film podcast of, you know the one, UK Post 31. Yeah, that's right. That's the man with the plan. Mr. Dan Nostalgia. That's right, yes. So, just settle down and listen to this. Today's film, American Werewolf in London, released in August 21st, 1981. Directed by John Landis, screenplay by John Landis, starring David Norton, Jenna Gaddy, David Dunn, and John Woodvine. Edited by Malcolm Campbell, music by Elmer Bernstein, cinematography Robert Painter, distributed by Universal Pictures, box office $62 million from a $40.8 million budget. The film's plot is about two New York backpackers traveling through the Yorkshire moors after leaving a local brewery to slaughter lamb at night. The pair are warned to stay on the road shortly. David Kessler and Jack Goodman, apologies, find themselves lost at night and trekking off on the wrong path. Screaming angry and echoes loudly frightening in new faces. Not long before they're viciously attacked. David, awaiting to hear of Jack's death and funeral service back home from nurse Alex Price, now experiencing himself talking to the undead Jack, begins feeling he's going to fall victim to the werewolf curse before a full moon strikes, transforming him into a wild beast loose in the city of London. The idea came to Landis while working on the film Kelly's Heroes. Right there, an adult like a genius. While he was working on one project, with one great cast, he creates another. He caught lightning in a bottle, sent it around his fear of his own death and demise. And this is genius, that's all I could say. Man, struck it. Landis had the first draft in 1969, working on multiple projects leading up to the 1980, while Polygram Pictures had a $10 million budget financing deal to help fund his brainchild and get the release off the ground for August. The film's soundtrack focused primarily around the Luna, or the moon. Every track heard is lively and is upbeat, and the full moon theme fits perfect, like a glove. Griffin Dunn was replaced by an undead design puppet towards the end of the film. So, with so much Jim Hansen and Crony, Landis had to settle with the porno theatre. After he wanted a violent animation on the background screen, failing to find such a request, he could be looking for some manga maybe during the time, I'm not sure. Paddy Ryan being the first on screen to be cursed, the first werewolf, and set in the tone. So, it's an interesting breakdown to the legend. Robert Baker was so involved with Landis' project that Baker passed on working on others, waiting for others for John's masterpiece. He turned NET after he pulled out the Dark Skies project with Spielberg. Both big projects on the card and so many choices, so much high demand for this man. I mean, this who could say. The benefactors of Landis' project felt wary about the script being too frightening for a comedy and too ha-ha for horror. So clearly they couldn't make up their mind with it. So I'm not sure whether they were clearly after. They were backing his man, so you've got to allow his man work his magic. Dan Aykroyd and James Belushi were looked at for the two roles, but Landis was happy with his choice, and I think that was more the studio that was looking to cast big names. He was happy with the unknown names, which worked in his favour. Landis picked the best time to get the poor weather and rain and drizzle in the UK, found in the UK months between February and March, the worst spells, and yeah, he came over at the right time, so we always got to wait till summer, that was the best time, but yeah, he wanted that. I'd rather work in the summer. The scenery used for the Moors were actually the Black Mountain in Powys and Monmouthshire in Wales, good old Wales. Much of the filming took place along the A470 with the red phone box and lost signs. There's a taste of home out there. You have to visit that and sit amongst the environment of that. Amazing. Crickedown being the location with the pub scene outside the slaughtered lamb, but the interior scenes were filmed in Black Swan on Old Lane in Surrey. So again, it's a bit like Dog Soldiers with the house. Blues Brothers, the film that helped build bridges for Landis with the Met Police in obtaining a filming permit and cooperation. 300 officers were invited to attend so they could be reassured that he could film during the early hours in Piccadilly Circus for over 2 months. And that included the best scenes, turning over in the cars and the extras. So, got what I needed there. After negative feedback from test screening, Landis made changes with final edit and cutting sequences or shortening scenes like the sex scenes or violent scenes or maybe dialogue stretching out scenes. An American Werewolf in London almost having a different location and title due to trade union and Landis over the lead roles. But the title found its way to the big screen in 1997, American Werewolf in Paris. Landis had no part in this project, made it the cast crew. Baker almost ended up working on another werewolf film, The Howling, that was released in 1981. Both agreed to work on the American Werewolf in the London project until the final production was given a green light. So, my provocative notion, number one being, was Alex Price possibly pregnant? Could there have been a chance of life between the kind-hearted nurse and young lady cursed American? No aftermath of the plot was explored or spoken on later down the line, which would have been good to know. Provocative notion number two. Who cursed Paddy Ryan? Who cursed Paddy Ryan, the first werewolf? And who else may have been cursed? Or how far back does this curse originate? Locals knew of the myth and the truth, but definitely knew more than what they wanted to say. You could see in the slaughtered lamb, there was hush-hush about things, very hush-hush. First released on VHS and Betamax in 1981 under the MCA Video Cassette Incorporated. Also on video disc afterwards, going through different formats of physical media, up to the 4K possibly. Critics praised this as genius writing and humorous approach, undoubtedly a classic and loved with raving reviews. Another one with a raving review for this was Michael Jackson, a huge fan, and you could see the inspiration with the music video Thriller. Jackson's choice to bring in Landis and Baker to helm the project, becoming most iconic videos, not just in the 1980s period, but still today it's recognised. And adding that Vincent Price voice is just a touch of genius over the end. Oh, I'll tell you what, I remember that. Blew my mind. Baker's skill with the transformation remains one of the best cinematography for visual effects on screen. You can't deny this now. I mean, the way that his body moves and changes in the hands and the face is amazing. In 1997, there was a radio adaptation on BBC One was aired with the semi-original cast, apart from David and Griffin. They were replaced by someone else. Also in 1997, the film sequel, The Marathon Werewolf in Paris, was released, but was shredded by critics on its release. The reviews were one-sided. John's son, Max Landis, was considered to direct the long-awaited remake with Dimension Films in June 2009. But the back end of 2017, allegations surfaced with the public and diminished those chances. But reports in 2019 suggested that the Walking Dead creator Robert Kirkman to direct and handle the project, which could be interesting. The film also inspired the Swedish horror film Frostbitten, and the Bollywood created their own version in 2005. Yet Landis did use this film as a reference in an episode of Masters of Horror, which again, I always come back to this film because it's so great. Britt Mail, the legend, rest in peace, from the Young Ones and Bottom in the 1980s and 1990s, spotted playing chess and pub. It's not unusual for Britt Mail to appear in a Hollywood screen. Appeared alongside Phoebe Cates in the 1990s comedy Drop Dead Fred, which was another great film. I did love that whole film. Landis was also responsible for the National Lampoon, the Animal House, with the late great John Belushi in 1979, creating what they created in the 80s from there. The British actor Ryan Glover appeared in local pub, also having a few cameos on the BBC comedy Bottom, featured in David Fincher's Alien 3 in 1992, and being described as one of the best UK's beloved actors. Right, masterclass in filmmaking, a true genre-defining story that unleashes a blend of great horror and comedic timing throughout. The cast works for the film, serving a meaningful purpose. British legends in the background, making scenes more interesting for the audience, and the chemistry between David and Alex can be seen on screen adding to the charm. Practical effects sends transformation scenes and werewolf carnage almost to the all-time horror films of any generation to come. Still celebrated today and praised highly. John Landis and Robert Baker, both legends in their own right, helped lay the foundation with a solid base for every werewolf film being different but known, the benchmark to lead greatness. One of my personal favourites is definitely a must own. I love the whole memorabilia and everything that we got our hands on, and I could rave on about this film for hours and not get tired. It's the godfather of werewolf films, and yet, after all this time, the marathon run for London is unrivaled and really can be. So, my rating on this, I'll give this 5 out of 5. So, and ladies and gentlemen, last segment, what have you been watching? I'll tell you what I've been watching. I dug out the 3D glasses and enjoyed Journey to the Centre of the Earth with Brendan Fraser. Definitely been maybe 10 years since the last time I've seen this film. Definitely one of his best action adventure films since the night. Hollywood oldest man dead. Bring him back to the screen. He deserves it. I would say that. And I've been keeping tabs on the Comic Cons this year. Liverpool having just passed, and they had a great panel this year. And the Comic Con coming up now in Yorkshire in June, they got another great cast coming up on their panel. Could go on there. Also, Newport in August, some great names again heading to Wales. All to come, folks. All to come. So I want to do a quick shout out to Manelip Hall and Reservoir Island. Thank you for the support and following, guys. Thank you. So I want to say thank you for what views my last video, and say look after yourselves and please take care until the next time. I'm Dan Nostalgia, and this is UK Outpost 31.